can't go to the bathroom himself or do anything. So whatever he needs, I have to do it in the car. So all of this is a lot of uncharted territory for us.
When I wake up in the morning, my first thoughts are a combination of disgust at how my life is now and shock that I was even able to make it to another day, because every minute of it is a struggle now.
If there's one thing my 600-pound life has never been short of, it's explosive moments. From heated confrontations to shocking outbursts, these scenes had fans glued to their screens in disbelief. They revealed raw emotion, clashing personalities, and the struggles that pushed people to their breaking points. Here are the most explosive moments ever captured on my 600-pound life.
Forcing myself to start each day is just miserable because I've gotten so big. My body feels like I'm in a prison. I'm just trapped.
Rena lays it bare. Her life is miserable, trapped, and torture every day. These aren't just words, they're the air she breathes. Watching her move, watching her simply exist, is to witness despair masquerading as routine. She's struggling for each breath, suffocating beneath her own weight, and yet, even in this suffocating reality, her first instinct is to look after Lee. He can't even manage for himself anymore, yet Rena shoulders that load while her own life is crumbling.
My mom would have these hallucinations that would lead to these fits. One time, I was around 9 or 10 probably, one night when I woke up to my mom screaming about my dad's face bleeding.
Rena's backstory is drenched in trauma. Imagine being a child in a house of chaos, where your mother suffers terrifying hallucinations, screaming about bleeding faces. For a little girl, how do you make sense of that? Rena turned to food. It became her protector, her tranquilizer, her escape hatch. But the biggest wound came when her mother walked away, abandoning the family entirely. Even worse, she blamed Rena, branding her as a bad kid. This betrayal shaped her survival blueprint: eat to cope, eat to shield, eat to survive.
Lee's sister comes over every day and helps us.
Ready for breakfast?
Thought you'd never ask.
All right. Renee has done an excellent job of taking care of Lee, but within the last 2 to 3 years, she has went downhill so much that I have to do it.
Now, here's the other layer: the toxic environment she lives in as an adult. Lee admits outright that he lives for food, every single day orbiting his next meal. Then comes Cassie, his sister, who knows the food is harmful but still enables it out of fear they'll be upset without it. Let's be real, that's not love, that's sabotage masquerading as care. They're trapped in this destructive merry-go-round hand-feeding poison while calling it affection. The truth is, recovery doesn't just require willpower, it demands cutting off the very supply line that sustains the addiction.
714 pounds, and Renee, you are 549 pounds. And you both have significant health issues as a result of your weight. Renee, you're diabetic and you take an enormous amount of insulin.
Yeah.
The same seems to be the case for Lee too. And I see you're on oxygen. So you're no longer able to breathe on your own because of your weight.
Dr. Now doesn't tiptoe or sugarcoat. He detonates denial. Lee tips the scale at 714 pounds, Rena at 549, and the facts couldn't be colder. Rena's drowning in diabetes, dependent on enormous doses of insulin. Lee's tethered to oxygen, his medical chart overflowing with life-threatening conditions. Dr. Now doesn't mince words. They've been in a very bad place for years, actively enabling one another's downfall. He isn't just giving a consultation, he's a wrecking ball, tearing down years of excuses, trying to jolt them awake before it's too late.
How y'all doing?
Surviving.
Surviving, huh? So is that why you missed your last appointment? Okay. You just had your bypass about 2 months ago, and when you left the hospital, you were down to 546. So you lost only 9 pounds since then.
Lee manages to lose just 9 pounds in 2 entire months. Dr. Now's frustration is volcanic, and honestly, I feel it too. Lee's excuse? I guess I'm eating the wrong things. Guessing? This isn't guesswork, it's survival. He shrugs, pretending not to understand why the weight isn't coming off, as though the problem is a mystery. No mystery here, it's denial in action. Lee is still trapped in the same cycle, still reaching for food as comfort, while trying to deflect the blame from himself. It's infuriating to watch.
How in the world somebody...
I'm playing in a game, I throw up constantly. I eat what I can keep down.
That's how it works. You throw up constantly because the surgery forces you to when you overeat now.
I think my problem is I'm holding a lot of fluid. I can't hardly pee.
Really?
But Dr. Now doesn't let it slide. He comes down with precision, exposing Lee's charade. He points out the truth. Lee played the game long enough to qualify for surgery, and now that he has it, he thinks he can cheat. But his vomiting isn't proof of effort. It's the bypass rejecting overeating. Lee is still cramming food in, and his body is fighting back. Dr. Now's righteous anger is unmistakable, but it's necessary. It's a reality check hammering through Lee's denial, a direct confrontation meant to shake him into facing the consequences of his choices.
You have to learn how to walk away from unhealthy confrontation. And if you find that you can't abstain from acting out in anger and getting physical with her, you leave the relationship because it's a matter of life or death for the both of you.
Now here's where the story takes a dramatic emotional turn. In therapy, the counselor speaks about domestic violence, laying out how it escalates, first yelling, then hitting, and eventually worse. For the first time, Lee has a moment of clarity. He admits his mistakes, finally saying out loud, "I see what I'm doing wrong." He apologizes to Rena with sincerity, breaking through a wall of anger built on food withdrawal and shame. Rena's answer is raw and strong. She tells him flatly, "If you ever touch me again, I am gone." The shift is powerful.
And Renee, you're down to 306. And that is total weight loss of 243 pounds. That's excellent. A few months ago, I wasn't sure if Lee was going to be able to get back on track.
Their weigh-in is nothing short of monumental. Lee, once an immovable 714 pounds, has dropped to 441, losing a staggering 273 pounds. Rena, who started at 549, now stands at 306, shedding 243 pounds. These numbers are victories carved from struggle, setbacks, and confrontation. Dr. Now can finally show optimism, and for once, it's contagious. This isn't just weight loss, it's proof that despite constant friction, emotional breakdowns, and battles with addiction, real progress can happen. It's hope, finally, with numbers that prove their fight is worth it.
And even be able to try on clothes at a store.
It's very exciting to be able to try smaller things on, to be able to come in a regular store and do this.
Rena's transformation is perhaps the sweetest ending of all. A woman once locked inside her own body is now in a regular store, trying on clothes with confidence. She looks at herself and says she likes what she sees. Words that carry the weight of years of shame now lifting. She talks about enjoying the act of getting ready each day, something once unimaginable. Together, she and Lee are not just shedding pounds, but rebuilding dignity and rediscovering self-worth. The chains are gone, the path is open, and the life they fought for has truly begun.
When I wake up, I instantly feel pain all over my body. My weight puts pressure on me, makes my back hurt, my legs swell, and it's a constant battle to catch my breath.
Gideon's 600-pound body is a constant prison, making every moment a struggle. Waking up is a harsh reminder of the suffocating weight he carries. Even the simplest tasks, like showering, feel life-threatening as he struggles to stay upright. He layers shirts to absorb sweat and uses deodorant between his rolls, hiding his body behind these precautions. It's a desperate attempt to maintain some semblance of normalcy, yet it's a clear cry for help. Gideon's physical and emotional pain is palpable, a man trapped by his own body, lost in despair.
My parents got divorced. I was about 8 years old. That definitely is when I think everything kind of went downhill for me, emotionally. I remember not really understanding, but I knew I felt better when I ate.
His childhood was full of emotional chaos, starting with his parents' divorce when he was 8. The trauma was compounded by a devastating custody battle where he had to choose between parents. Adding to the trauma, his stepmother sent him to fat camps, subjecting him to ridicule and reinforcing his deep feelings of unworthiness. In response, food became his refuge, offering comfort in an otherwise hostile world. This early trauma turned into a lifelong coping mechanism, with each bite serving as a shield from emotional pain that never healed.
Good morning. Do you have apple fritters? Oh, I want 2 of those. And then a chocolate Long John, 2 of those.
Gideon is eating himself to death.
Do you have like a mixed dozen?
He says that he's fighting to live for us, but I don't think his actions show that.
The toxic dynamics in Gideon's life are crystal clear when we look at his relationship with Kaylee, his wife. On their way to a family cookout, which is centered around food, Gideon stops for donuts, an act that highlights his addiction. Kaylee watches silently, desperate and helpless. She feels trapped, unable to break the cycle of enabling, where her actions fuel his addiction. This isn't love, it's a destructive codependence. Both are stuck in this vicious cycle, feeding off each other's despair. It's heartbreaking to witness, and despite their mutual love, their They're locked in a toxic dance they can't seem to escape.
So you're 650 pounds. Tell me how your weight has climbed this high.
Well, I'm obese. That's the biggest problem.
Okay, so what do you think is the cause of that?
A history, a whole life of bad eating habits.
Gideon's weigh-in shockingly reveals 650 pounds. Gideon tries to minimize his eating habits, calling 2 hamburgers and 3 cookies a small meal, while Kaylee makes excuses about work. Dr. Now isn't buying any of it. He cuts straight through their denial, calling them out for knowing exactly what healthy eating looks like but choosing to ignore it. He issues a strict diet and a 50-pound weight loss goal, setting the rules for their journey. It's a wake-up call, a clear ultimatum. Dr. Now's tough love is exactly what they need to face the harsh reality of their situation.
Nervous this time than the first time, because now I have a goal I need to hit. This one is pass-fail and will determine if I get the surgery or not, and I have to get approved today.
Gideon returns for his follow-up having lost 30 pounds, a respectable number but a full 20 pounds short of Dr. Now's goal. The disappointment on his face is real. Dr. Now, concerned about his deteriorating health, denies him surgery. But this isn't a final judgment, it's a strategic move. He sends Gideon to the hospital for a week of monitoring. This failure becomes a crucial test, a moment of realization where Gideon must prove his commitment not with words but with action under direct supervision. It's his last chance to show he's serious.
I am really worried about Gideon right now. Once he got the surgery, his goal was to get a job and start helping more around the house. And he's not doing that. He sleeps most of the day because he doesn't get up to eat all day.
Gideon sinks into a deep depression, drained of energy. Kaylee, at her breaking point, is ready to leave. Dr. Now diagnoses the issue perfectly. Gideon is struggling without food, his coping mechanism now gone. He's shutting down. Dr. Now doesn't just focus on the physical. He pushes Gideon to address his emotional pain by recommending therapy. It's tough love in the truest form, forcing Gideon to face his past and trauma. It's not just about weight loss anymore. It's about reclaiming his life, confronting his demons, and starting the real work of healing.
Figuring out why I turned to food, because I've lived my whole life being, the fat guy. I've had what I would consider to be a very hectic, childhood, adolescent. 20s, all the way up till, both of my parents died at 50, just a few years apart.
From obesity or?
No.
Gideon finally confronts the deep guilt that's been plaguing him for years. The raw emotion comes through as he opens up about the deaths of his parents, especially his father's, which he believes he could have prevented. The weight of that grief, hidden for so long, starts to surface. Kaylee, watching him break down, realizes the depth of his pain. This cathartic moment is a breakthrough, not just for Gideon, but for their relationship. It's the first time he's truly confronting his trauma without the crutch of food, and in doing so, he's opening the door to real healing and growth.
Stayed on track and finally made it below 500 pounds. That's such a great feeling. I'm pretty excited to go out and not feel embarrassed or undeserving to be with Kaylee.
I'm loving the changes that I'm seeing in Gideon.
He's working out, being active, and his hard work pays off as he drops below the 500-pound mark. The pride on his face is unmistakable. Gideon, once trapped in his own body, is now finding his strength and confidence. He takes Kaylee out on a date, something that would have been impossible before. Their connection, once overshadowed by resentment, begins to rebuild. It's a beautiful moment of progress. The man he was is coming back, and for the first time in a long time, there's hope, not just for him, but for their future together.
He's more active, and he can play with me a lot more.
Let's go laser.
Look at Gideon now. He's playing laser tag with his family, laughing and truly present. The man who was once defined by his weight and isolation is now filled with confidence and purpose. His goal weight is 220 pounds and he feels unstoppable. His journey from despair to determination is nothing short of inspiring. The life he once thought was out of reach is now unfolding before him, filled with promise. This is the story of redemption, of breaking free from the chains of addiction and grief. Gideon has proven that change is possible, no matter how bleak the beginning. It's his new beginning, and it's a triumph.
Or go to the bathroom. And then I bathe Joyce probably 2 to 3 times a week. It's a very long process, and by the end of it, Joyce and I are both exhausted.
We are instantly pulled into the bleak reality of Joyce's day-to-day existence, and it is nothing short of heartbreaking. Even something as basic as bathing is turned into a humiliating ordeal. Her caregiver, Dawn, is forced to scrub her in sections, carefully drying the folds of her skin with a hairdryer just to keep mold from growing. That image alone tells you everything you need to know. Joyce's body has become her prison, and simple hygiene is now a dangerous and exhausting operation. The loss of dignity and constant threat of infection is almost unbearable to watch.
When I was 8, my mom and stepdad left my stepbrother to babysit me. I went to sleep and I woke up with him sitting on my bed and he was rubbing my bed. And that is the initial memory that I had for years upon years upon years.
By the time Joyce was only 8 years old, her innocence was shattered by alleged abuse from her stepbrother. For years, she pushed the memories deep down, but eventually they resurfaced in the form of terrifying nightmares. When she finally revealed the truth to her mother, the response she received was a dismissive silence. No outrage, no protection, nothing. Imagine that level of betrayal. Abandoned by her mother when she needed comfort the most, sent away to live with her grandmother, Joyce was left without love or justice, finding food as her only reliable shield against pain.
I know my family and Dawn are all worried about me too, and they don't think I'm gonna make it much longer. But just like me, they keep doing what they've been doing and help me eat the stuff I'm not supposed to have now.
Now let's take a look at the enabling behavior that fuels this tragedy. Joyce's mother literally arrives with what looks like enough food to feed an army. Yet as Joyce eats, her mother sits back, glaring with judgment. It is a cruel contradiction. She delivers the very substance that is destroying her daughter, then scolds her for consuming it. She even admits that she lives in constant fear Joyce could die at any moment, yet still hands over the poison. This is not just enabling, it's a cycle of sabotage that's practically gift-wrapped.
It's hard for me to take a deep breath right now.
Okay, let me listen to your line. Take a deep breath. All right. The good news is you don't sound like you're in any sort of pressure or failure right now.
When Dr. Now finally makes his entrance, the energy in the room shifts immediately. Joyce, exhausted from a brutal 12-hour journey, begins by complaining she hasn't eaten all day. His response? A sharp remark that she's already eaten enough food to last several years. This is no gentle pep talk. It is a verbal wrecking ball designed to shatter denial. Dr. Now doesn't coddle, he confronts. He is the one person in Joyce's life willing to tell her the truth without sugarcoating. It's harsh, but it's also the exact tough love she so desperately requires.
Physical therapy, why is that?
I really am trying, but my breathing is still a struggle. And sometimes with physical therapy, it gets a little,
Get short-winded? We're getting you to lose weight and address that.
And right away, the resistance begins. Even in a highly controlled hospital environment, Joyce pushes back. Dr. Now calls her out for refusing to cooperate with physical therapy, and her excuse is that she can't breathe properly. His answer is painfully obvious. Losing weight would help her breathing. Still, she insists she's trying. What we see here is addiction laid bare. The excuses, the deflection, the unwillingness to endure discomfort. She wants change without sacrifice, results without effort. It's the classic self-sabotaging cycle, already revealing how deeply her dependence on food controls her life.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it back in the taxi like I did. The car ride was too much for me, and I think I need to go to the hospital. I mean, I just don't, 'cause I don't have the ability to walk. Like, I'm very dizzy, and I think I'm having a heart attack.
You don't look like you are.
Then comes a moment of pure manipulation. After the scale reveals she's gained an astonishing 58 pounds, Joyce suddenly stages a dramatic performance. She clutches at her body, claiming dizziness, claiming her heart is failing. Right on cue, she acts as if she's on the verge of collapse. But it's transparent. It looks less like a medical emergency and more like a desperate attempt to dodge accountability. If she can land herself back in the hospital, she gets a free pass home. This isn't a plea for help, it's helplessness used as a weapon.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Dr. Now.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling quite a bit better now that I'm laying down.
Well, as you know, all your tests are looking good.
Are they?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're not having a heart attack or dying.
Okay, well, I'm very relieved.
Well, I think you already knew everything was fine.
Dr. Now, however, isn't fooled for a second. He confronts her in the hospital bed with the facts. Every single test has come back normal. Her symptoms are nothing but excuses. He calls out her manipulative behavior in blunt terms and delivers an ultimatum that cuts like a knife. She must begin therapy immediately and lose 50 pounds on her own within 1 month without relying on medical transport. This is the line in the sand. No more excuses, no more safety net. Either Joyce takes responsibility or she's left to face her decline alone.
So Joyce, I know that you've shared feeling very alone and isolated as a child and feeling as if your mother was not attentive to you. Is there anything that you want to say to Mom?
I think I've said it to her before.
Here was the moment that could have been a turning point. In a therapy session with her mother, Joyce has the chance to finally open up about her abandonment and abuse. It could have been the start of true healing. Instead, she retreats. She says she doesn't want to rock the boat and insists on focusing on a so-called fresh start with her mother. The therapist, Lola, can see exactly what's happening. Joyce is avoiding the hard emotional work. This isn't breakthrough, it's denial. She refuses to confront the root of her pain, proving she's not ready.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Now.
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. All right, Joyce. So we got you medical transport here because you're still not walking like you need and making progress with your activity.
The end of Joyce's journey is as tragic as it is predictable. 3 months later, she returns to the program not lighter, but heavier, having gained another 12 pounds. When confronted, she immediately shifts blame, claiming the scale must be broken, but Dr. Now is done. He reminds her that she's had a full year and made no progress. His final decision is to release her from the program completely. Her last words? Insisting she did everything right, that the failure is on the program. Denial to the very end. A story of wasted opportunity.
Son Steven is going to be transported in a medical RV to Houston, and I'm going to follow. And my son Justin wants to come with me.
I want to meet the doctor as well because I want help with my weight too.
From what I understand, Stephen Asante suffers from severe psychological issues.
From the very beginning, we are dropped headfirst into a family crisis that feels more like a circus than a medical journey. Stephen, an overgrown child trapped in a man's body, is being transported to Houston by ambulance while his weary father and brother Justin trail behind him. Dr. Now wastes no time warning us that Stephen's psychological problems are severe, and the proof comes instantly. Stephen whines into the phone about being hungry, manipulating his father from miles away. It's dysfunction dialed up to maximum chaos, promising nothing but explosive drama ahead.
I'm in a lot of pain, and I can really use some pain medicine.
Stephen is casually asking for some pain medication, but his body language shows that he really wants it.
Is this Dilaudid?
Yep.
Pain medicine. Have you had this before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barely through the hospital doors, Stephen is already scheming, shifting focus from weight loss to painkillers. His casual request for Dilaudid might sound routine, but the desperation in his mannerisms betrays his intent. When he admits he's had it before, it sends chills. This isn't just comfort seeking, it's full-blown addiction. Dr. Now sees it instantly, labeling Stephen's personality as dangerously pathological. The problem isn't simply overeating. Stephen craves escape, whether through food or narcotics. What we're witnessing isn't just a patient, it's a master manipulator who has honed suffering into his ultimate bargaining chip.
What do you want?
Just a large pizza with cheese and pepperoni and 2-liter bottle of Coke.
Yeah, you happy?
Yep.
Have a party.
Oh.
I know you will.
No sooner is Stephen discharged than he starts demanding pizza, and heartbreakingly, his father gives in without resistance. Out comes a greasy large pizza paired with a 2-liter soda, a perfect recipe for sabotage. Watching it unfold is like witnessing surrender on autopilot. The father knows he's digging the hole deeper, but feels powerless to stop. This is no healthy father-son bond. It's hostage and captor, bound by junk food. Every bite only cements Stephen's refusal to change. It's a vicious cycle of indulgence that ensures he never faces the consequences of his self-destruction.
It's not good.
Stephen, you managed to gain 80 pounds. So if this is not working for you, I'm not gonna be the one to write your death certificate. This is your last chance.
The illusion of progress shatters when Stephen steps on the scale, revealing a catastrophic 80-pound weight gain. Dr. Now's patience collapses into pure fury. He accuses Stephen of abusing the system, chasing doctors for prescriptions and wasting every opportunity given to him. Stephen's food addiction has merged with a desperate hunger for narcotics, forming a deadly cocktail. The punishment is swift. He's suspended from the program and shipped to drug rehab. It's a last-ditch intervention designed to jolt him awake before his downward spiral becomes irreversible. Dr. Now makes it clear this is the end of the line.
I'm hoping that this is the day my life turns around. Selfie. I want to get better, and I'm hoping I actually get help here. Yeah. But this is still one of the scariest things that I've ever done.
Stephen calls his rehab center the gates of hell, and within minutes, he proves why. His first group session is a display of manipulation, where truth is bent into half confessions. He acknowledges his dependency, but cloaks it in excuses, claiming he only used prescriptions that were technically legal. He presents himself as cheerful, even happy, a performance so hollow it borders on delusional. There's no sincerity, no humility, just a man rehearsing his lines to charm his way through recovery. But beneath the grin, the reality is clear. Stephen has no intention of dropping the mask.
You have no idea what I've been going through, okay? In that psych ward. Well, you're gonna hear me, and you're gonna hear me now. And you're gonna hear me loud and clear, okay? Clean out your ears and clean them out good.
The mask drops completely when Steven, agitated and off his meds, explodes over the phone with his father. Screams, curses, and threats pour out of him like venom. He lashes out, accusing his father of pushing him toward relapse, even blaming him preemptively for a potential overdose. It is pure emotional warfare, a calculated tantrum designed to break his father's will. This isn't the cry of someone who wants help. It's the intimidation tactics of an addict determined to control the people around him. It's ugly, terrifying, and a clear reminder of how deep his manipulations run.
No! Oh, man. Oh, no, Cole, no! No, I can't!
You can get a
No,
club.
my whole body, I can't! No!
You okay?
No! My arms and everything, no, Cole!
Later, Steven pulls one of his most absurd stunts yet, pretending to fall from a golf cart in a bid to score another ER trip. The act is laughably unconvincing, but his father refuses to play along. Instead of calling an ambulance, he drives Steven straight to therapy. The result? A tantrum so loud it nearly shakes the van. Yet for once, his father holds firm, denying him the easy out. It's a chaotic but pivotal moment. The enabler finally says no. For the first time, Steven is forced to face a world that won't bend to his demands. For the first time.
Go to one hospital, they recognize that you're a drug addict, they go to another one. Let me just give you something. This is a prescription monitoring program with state of Texas. You receive 39 prescriptions from 17 different doctors.
Steven seems cornered by undeniable truth. Dr. Now lays out the staggering evidence of his manipulation. 39 prescriptions from 17 different doctors. With nowhere left to run, Steven is confronted not just by paperwork, but by his own reflection, forced to literally face the man he has become. He admits he avoids mirrors because they expose the failure staring back at him. For one fleeting moment, the facade cracks. It feels like a breakthrough. But with Steven, sincerity is fleeting, and doubt lingers over whether the realization will stick.
I just really hope this is enough for Dr. Now to think I'm ready for weight loss surgery.
Hello. Hi. How you doing, Steven?
Good.
Okay, so you lost 73 pounds in a bit over 2 months. That is a move in the right direction. So I'm proud of you.
The episode closes with a surprising but fragile glimmer of redemption. After months of chaos, Steven manages to stay sober long enough to shed an astonishing 73 pounds. Even Dr. Now, usually unmoved by excuses, acknowledges the progress and rewards him with program approval, provided he commits to therapy and sheds an additional 40 pounds. In a rare moment of humility, Steven extends an apology to his estranged brother Justin. Yet the air is heavy with uncertainty. This isn't resolution, it's a fragile truce, one step in a war that feels far from finished.